Hello everyone, it's Galina and thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to share with you a cute card with no line colored image. I'm going to start with stamping the image and I'm using a cute Pepsam stamp set from Studio Katia. It's quite a large stamp, but I will use only a small part of it. I'm stamping on a watercolor paper and almost all watercolor papers have a texture, so I'm going to restamp those puppies and cats, just to get a nice crisp image. For no-line coloring, you will need to use a light color ink. It may be hard to see my stamped image, but after coloring the puppies, it will appear. For stamping, I'm using distress ink called Anti-Cleaning. It's a light yellow color, and I picked this ink because I'm planning to color the image with orange and brown colors, so they will match. To color the image, I'm going to use my distress markers. They are water-based markers and they work perfectly with my all-time favorite Canson watercolor paper. You actually can use distress inks to color the stamped images and simply tap the ink pad on a smooth surface like a glass mat or acrylic block and pick ink with a paintbrush. I love to use markers with this technique, and I can apply a lot of pigment where the shadow should be and color the image with one layer of ink. To blend inks on my paper, I'm using a water brush. It helps to control the amount of water I'm adding on the paper. And after my coloring is done, I'm going to cut out a scallop frame using 2 dies from SCALLOP OBLONG die set, and I'm cutting out it from a craft cardstock. Those dies cut a thin border around the main die cut, but I'm going to leave those craft borders and I'm going to cut out one more time from a glitter gold cardstock. And from those die cuts, I will use only a thin frame inside of an oval die cut. And I'm going to use almost all dies from this set, and using this round die, I'm going to cut out a cute heart to embellish my card. Next, I'm going to frame up my colored image, and I want to foam mount this frame directly on the watercolored paper. I'm using a thin stripe of foam double-sided adhesive tape, and I'm placing this frame on my watercolored paper. After that, I can cut off the excess paper with my scissors and attach this frame on a card base. But before that, I'm going to prepare my card panel, and I'm going to cut out a rectangle panel using Darling Ribbons die set, and I'm going to cut out from an ivory color cardstock. It has a light yellow shade on it, and I think it will be a perfect match for my craft cardstock frame. And using a small die, I'm going to cut out a label for my sentiment, and this time I'm going to use a light blue cardstock. After the die cutting, I'm going to attach the puppies with a frame on my card panel, and I'm using a liquid glue to do that. To attach the thin frame, I'm using a same liquid glue, but I'm adding just a tiny dots of glue around it. And I'm attaching this thin glitter frame inside of my oval die cut. On the top of the frame, I'm going to foam mount a little heart that I cut out from a red cardstock, and I think it will be a super cute element on the card. Now I can create my sentiment for this card, and I'm going to stamp directly on a label die cut, and I'm combining 2 different small sentiment stamps to create a one big sentiment on my card. I'm placing those stamps on my glass mat to make sure I line them properly, and I'm picking up them with an acrylic block, and I'm going to stamp it with a VersaFine black ink. I want to add a more shine on this card, so I decided to color my die cut heart with a Wink of Stella brush pen. It's a pen with a clear shimmer ink. And of course I need some pearls on this card. And this time I'm going to use gold foil pearls from Studio Katia, and I'm attaching them with a liquid glue from Studio Katia. It's a super strong glue, so they will hold well on this card. And I'm placing just few of them on the left and right side of my card panel. And here is my finished card. It was super fun process to make it, and I hope you like this video and this card, so don't forget to subscribe. Feel free to leave your comments below the video, and full supply list you can also find in the video description below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!